Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to your math lesson 11.2. Since we're working with shapes, it was a little difficult for me to manipulate the shapes yesterday when I was trying to teach you lesson 11.1. So I hope I figured out a new way so that I can manipulate shapes and teach you about the shapes. So let's quickly review our three-dimensional shapes that we learned about yesterday. All right, here is a shape that's nice and round. It has no flat surfaces. What is that called? Yes, it is a sphere. Good job. All right, here is a shape that has one flat surface, so I could stand it up. And then it has curved surfaces, so it also rolls. What shape is that? It looks like I could eat it. Yes, it is a cone. Good job. All right. The next shape looks kind of like a can. It has a flat surface on the top and a flat surface on the bottom, so it stands nice and tall. But it's also curved, so it rolls. What is that called? Yeah, it's a cylinder. Good job. All right. And then we have this shape. All right. It's flat on all six sides. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is called a rectangular prism. Now, rectangular prisms come in many different shapes. All right, this is a long, skinny rectangular prism. It has two squares on either end, and the 4 other sides are rectangles. But then we have this rectangular prism that has 2 rectangles on each end, and then also the 4 sides are rectangular. So there's different rectangular prisms. Here's an even skinnier one. It looks more like a book if I were to open it up. Okay, I have 2 skinny rectangles, and then all the other 4 sides are also rectangular. So these are all considered rectangular prisms. They have 6 flat sides. Good job. And then I have this shape, which if you look at just one of the faces, it's a square. So each of the 6 sides is a square. And who remembers what we call that? Yes, it is a cube. It reminds me of a block that you would have played with when you were a baby that would have letters or numbers on it, or a dice that you can roll while you're playing a game. All right, that's a quick review of all of our three-dimensional shapes. Now, let's look at lesson 11.2. Now, mine is not in color because I copied it so that I could write on it. So yours will be in color. It says, trace to draw a new shape. Write to name the shape. All right, down here at the bottom, okay, that you can't see, it says Mandy stacks one cylinder on top of another cylinder. So I have some small ones. I have one cylinder. It has 2 flat sides, and then it's curved in the middle. So I'm going to lay that down. Okay, I'm going to lay it like this. And then I'm going to put another one on top. So if it's laying down, it looks like this. If it's standing up, it looks like this. So by putting 2 cylinders on top of each other, and it doesn't matter which one goes on top, what new shape did I make? Did I make a new shape, or did I just make the cylinder bigger? You're right. I just made the cylinder bigger. So this shape is not changing names. It's just making it bigger. So we're going to write cylinder here. So it's CYLINDER. I just made a bigger cylinder. Great job. All right, now let's look at the next. It says Carl stacked one cube on top of another cube. So here's a cube. Remember, a cube is 6 sides. They're all squares, so they're all the same size. Well, if I put one cube and I set another one on top of it, it's going to look like this or like this. It's going to be the same shape. Now, what shape did I just turn 2 cubes into? Does it look a little bit like this shape? Just different sizes and different colors. Yes, if I put two cubes on top of each other, it could stand up like this, like our picture, or it can lay down like this, either way. What did I just make using two cubes? Yes, I made a rectangular prism. Now remember, that's a super long word, so I'm going to write rectangular on the line and then prism underneath it. Here we go. RECTANGULAR. There's rectangular. And we're going to have to write prism underneath it because it's too long. PRISM. Rectangular prism. So that time, my shape did change, okay? If I had one cube and another cube put together, it now makes a rectangular prism. Good job, boys and girls. Turn the page. I'm going to move all of my shapes out of the way and get some new ones. All right. So up here at the top, it says you can put shapes together to make a new shape. All right. So let's get these shapes. I have a cube and a rectangular prism. Now, if you have these at home, you could absolutely play with them. And of course, if you were in the classroom and it wasn't COVID season, we would be able to have these in the classroom where you can manipulate themselves. But since no one can touch anything this year, we're just going to have to do it for you. So I can play around with these shapes. I can put the rectangular prism on bottom. I could put my cube on top. Okay? I could put my cube on the bottom and then my rectangular prism on top, which makes this shape. Or I could make this shape. I could have my rectangular prism and then put this one on top and kind of lay it down so you can see it. And it makes that shape. Or I could try to make this shape. I could put my cube and I could put my rectangular prism on top of it. And it looks kind of like an exclamation point since mine are different colors. All right. There are so many different ways. You can move it to either way. You could put it on this side. You could put it on this side. We're just manipulating shapes to make new shapes. All right. So let's look at number 1. It says we're going to use the three-dimensional shapes to combine and create a new shape. So on this one, I need a cylinder. I guess I could get a little cylinder, and I need a cube. Okay. So which new shape can I create? Well, let's look at this first one. That looks like a rectangular prism to me because it's longer than a cube. Can I make that with the two shapes that I have? No. Any way I put it, it's still not going to make this shape. But let's look at this shape. Could I have my cylinder and put a cube on top of it to make this shape? Yes, I could. So that is the new shape that I can make with a cylinder and a cube. Great job. All right, now let's look at the next one. We have a rectangular prism and we have a cylinder. Now, my rectangular prism that looks like this is my wooden one, so I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to get my bigger cylinder out, okay? Let's look at this shape. Oh, I have a rectangular prism, so I could lay that here. But if I put my cylinder on top of it, does it look like this with a point? No, that's a cone, so I cannot make this shape. Oh, but let's look at this shape. If I lay my rectangular prism like this and put my cylinder on top, even though they're different sizes, does it look like this? Yes, it sure does. So with a rectangular prism and a cylinder, I can make this new shape. Shapes are so much fun to play with. All right, let's look at my next one. I need more space on my desk is what I need. All right, I need a cone, which is right here. And I need my rectangular prism, which is right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to make this first shape. So I'm going to put my rectangular prism here, and I'm going to put my cone here. Even though they're different sizes, is that the shape that I can make? Well, yes, it sure is, because I'm using the cone and the rectangular prism. So I'm going to circle this one. Let's just look at this one. Well, first of all, here's my rectangular prism. But if I put this here, does that match? No, because a cone has a pointy end and a cylinder has a flat one. So that one does not work. Good job, boys and girls. Look at the next page. All right, we're going to combine some more to see what shapes we can use. I have 2 cubes. All right, now this one's kind of tricky because they're trying to trick us. If I have 2 cubes, now remember, cubes are squares on all sides. Okay, they're squares on all sides. Let's see if I can make this shape. Well, if I put a cube and a cube together, this is a cube, but what is this? You're right, that's a rectangular prism. I don't have a rectangular prism, so I cannot make this shape. But what about this shape? If I laid them down so you can see them, if I put 2 cubes together like this, does it make a rectangular prism? Yes, it does. So that's the new shape that I can make. Great job. All right, now I need, I'm going to use this cone, an orange one this time, and I have a red cylinder. Okay, so I'm going to combine these 2 shapes to see which one works. Let's try this first one. Well, here is my cylinder, and here is my cone. Does this match my picture? Yes, it does. So that's exactly the shape that I can make. What about this one? I have a cone, but do I have a rectangular prism to attach it to? Nope, I do not. So I cannot make this shape. The only shape I can make out of these 2 is this one. Good job. All right, now I need 2 rectangular prisms, and the only 2 rectangular prisms that I have that match are gigantic. Here is one. I can't even fit that on the whole screen. Oh my goodness, that's big. And here's my other one. I don't know if this is going to work, boys and girls. All right, let's think about it. If I have 2 rectangular prisms, and I lay one here, and I lay the other one on top. Okay, I don't know if I can even move this. There we go, so you can see it. Does that make, even though it's gargantuan, and I can't hold it with one hand, does that make this shape? Yes, it does. So if I had 2 rectangular prisms, I could stack them on top of each other to look like this. Now, if I had 2 rectangular prisms, can I put them on top of each other to make this shape? No, because this is a cylinder. Okay, and I don't have another cylinder. Good job. All right, number 7, going back to my cube and a cone. Now this cone is skinnier than the cone that I have, but it's okay because it's still a cone. It still has a flat surface right here and a curved edge, and that means it's a cone. So let's see what we can put together to make the shapes. Well, here is my cube, but if I put the cone underneath it, does that match the picture? Nope, because my cone is pointy and this is not. So that does not fit. However, can I make this one? If I put my cone or my cube on the bottom and I put my cone on top, did I make this shape? Yes, I did. So this is the new shape that I can make with a cube and a cone. All right, boys and girls, this one's super fun. Look at all these. We have 3 shapes on this one. I'm going to use my wooden shapes. I have a cone. I have a rectangular prism. And I have a cylinder. Now, mine are bigger than the ones that are in the pictures, but I still have these 3 shapes. Okay? Now, which one of these new shapes am I going to be able to make? You think you know? All right, let's see. Look at this first one. What shape is this? Yeah, it's a cube. Do I have a cube? No. So right off the bat, I can say I can't make this because I don't have a cube. Great job. Let's look at the next one. If I put my rectangular prism here. And then I put my cylinder on top, which remember, they're different sizes. Okay. And I put a cone on top. Does my shape look like this shape? Yes, it does. So I could make this shape with a cone, a rectangular prism, and a cylinder. Great job. All right, boys and girls, turn the page. Oh, something that I love to eat. It says, circle the shapes you could use to model the ice cream cone. All right. Well, if I were going to an ice cream store and I wanted a cone, which shape would I use for the cone? Yes, I just said its name. I would use the cone. Good job. Okay, so here's my cone. Now, what shape would my scoop of ice cream be? I think you're right. If you said sphere, you are correct. Because remember, in a real ice cream cone, this is hollow, so my ice cream would kind of go down there, and it would sit on top like that, and then I would eat it, eat it, eat it. All right? So I would use a sphere and a cone to make an ice cream cone. I would not put a can of soup on top of my cone. I would not put a rectangular prism on top of my cone. Good job, boys and girls. All right, now it says, circle the ways that make the same shape. Now, I could get 4, and they're all going to be different colors, but I could do it. All right. I have 4 cubes. All right. If I put them together, which they're not going together, right there. All right. I have made this shape. Okay. So I'm going to circle that. Now, if I had, which I don't have, I guess I could use, well, I don't have enough cubes. However, if I put 2 rectangular prisms together, does it also equal the same shape? Yes, because just pretend that there was a dotted line here, and a dotted line here, and that would be 4 squares. So this shape, 2 rectangular prisms stuck together, would be the same shape as 4 cubes. Good. All right, look here. I have 4 cubes, but are they in the shape of a big square or a big cube? No, they would have to move this one to here, and then it would work. So this one does not match these 2. Look at this one. I have 2 cubes and a rectangular prism. Now remember, a rectangular prism is pretending, okay, 2 cubes put on top of each other. So if I have 2 cubes and a rectangular prism, do I make the same shape as these? Yes, I do. Look how much fun shapes can be, boys and girls. All right, great job. Now, at the bottom, our very last problem, it says combine a rectangular prism and a cone, that's kind of a big cone, so maybe I can use a smaller cone. Okay? Which new shapes, this S means there are going to be more than one answer, can you make? Well, let's look at this first one. I have a rectangular prism, but do I have a cone? No, that's a cylinder, so I cannot use that shape. Let's look at the next one. I have my rectangular prism, and I put a cone on the end of it. Does that match what you were looking at? It sure does. So this is the shape that I could make if I had a rectangular prism and a cone. Good job. Let's look at the next one. I have a cone, which I could put on top, but what shape is this? You're right, it's a cube. I don't have a cube, so can I make this shape? No, I cannot. All right, let's look at the last one. Here's my rectangular prism again. And can I put my cone on top of it like this to make this shape? Yes, I can. So these are the 2 new shapes I could make with a cone and a rectangular prism. All right, boys and girls, I hope you have had fun playing with shapes with me today. And I hope that was a little bit more helpful than yesterday's lesson, so where you could actually see the different shapes and I could move them around. All right, for your homework, and I know you're not going to have these shapes at home, but you can use your eyes and your thinking caps, okay, to do your homework. You're going to do homework pages 643 and 644, all right? Use those clues that I had to match up which new shapes you can make with the shapes that they show on your homework pages, all right? On the back side of your homework on page 644, there is a review question. Number 2, it is something that we really haven't discussed yet, but I want to see if you can add two-digit numbers. Just try it. Have your mom and dad help you, okay? And then their number 3 review question on the back is something that we did at the very beginning of school, so you should be able to do that one, okay? When you're finished with your homework, please submit or take a picture and submit to your teacher. Thanks for playing with shapes with me today, guys. Have a great day.